Hi, my name is Adrienne Cohen, and I'm doing a presentation over artificial insemination in animals. My name is Adrienne Cohen, and I'm doing a presentation over artificial insemination. What is artificial insemination? It is the injection of semen into a vagina or uterus other than bisexual intercourse. It started in Russia around 1902 by a man named Ivanov. And from there, it started advancing very quickly. It was one of the greatest advancements at the time. Well, that's pretty bold to say. It wasn't the greatest, but it was a huge milestone for it to happen at that point. You may ask, why do we do it? Well, humans have a great demand for products that come from animals, such as dairy, eggs, meat. So there needed to be a faster process to supply that demand. Anyway, so that's the gist of why we do it, and the people who do it have much profit because, sell semen, sell cattle, sell multiple things. So it's a good place to benefit from economically. Some history behind it is that it was successfully applied to cattle in the early 1900s. The reason that it is so important is because at that time people were relying on fresh semen and had a time limit on when they can use it and how long it would last and such and such and such. So when the first cattle was born from frozen semen, it meant that semen could last longer. It could they can be bred during non-breeding seasons and so on and so forth. So that was one of the big milestones of AI. So there are many different ways to collect semen. There is electroejaculation, there's manual, and there's an artificial vagina. So one of the least effective ways is the manual one, is where a farmer or whoever wants to do that physically puts the semen into the vagina and hopes and prays it's gonna have a baby. Then there's the electroejaculation, where a rod about like yay big has different points on it where it sends electric shocks to different points in the bull. It's inserted in the anus, so it gets the penis erect. They collect the semen and process be over there. Most farmers use that, but most big companies, semen distributors, use domesticated bulls who are trained to mount artificial vaginas and deposit their semen there. And it's more sanitary and gets the process done much faster than electroejaculation and manual. But not everyone could do that, so the good second is electroejaculation. Embryos. So embryos, they're kind of different story. There are different methods to achieve pregnancies and get embryos from cows and stuff. One is superovulation, and that's drug-induced production of multiple eggs for the use of assisting reproductive technologies such as in vitro fertilization. This process releases multiple eggs, so it's more likely to have twins and triplets, which is 2 for the price of 1. Get more bang for your buck, I guess. So it's very popular. Uh, in the beginning, no. Embryo transfer was a very difficult thing to get grasp of in the beginning, because to do so, the animal had to go through a long, intensive, expensive surgery, and it was a very tedious process, and it could only be done so many times because the recovery time of an animal would end up being destructive to the business and so on and so forth. So they quickly had to find a new way to do this. So they decided on a non-surgical procedure, which they flush fluids into the vagina, leave it there for like 30 minutes, drain it, leave it there for another like 6 hours, drain it, and then collect the embryo. And it's like 60 out of 100 embryos are like usable, so it's a pretty good system. Although there are many technologies and methods we use today, there are some things we can focus on in the future, such as extending the period we can keep semen, and the communications to the public. There is a lot of negative stigma behind artificial insemination, and saying it's not, what's the word? Not valid. It's not right. That's not the word I'm looking for, but I'll go with it. So, to explain this or give them a better knowledge of what happens in farms and with these animals would maybe change their mind or just make them a bit more educated. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, ask me. Well, have a nice day.